Mary and Tom, winter 1964. It's the winter of 1964, and man, it's freezing. Snow everywhere in this tiny little town tucked away in the American boonies. Right in the middle of it all, there's this old church everybody knows about. It's like the town's safe spot. The priest there, Father John, is this calm, classy dude everyone trusts. If you've got a problem, he's the guy you go to. One icy day, the church door flies open out of nowhere. This 32-year-old woman stumbles in, hair a total mess, face scratched up, blood all over her, limping like she's been through a war. She's so freaked out and stressed, she can't even talk, just staring off like she's lost in her head. Father John jumps up, rushes over, tries to calm her down, and grabs a blanket to warm her up. She's breathing hard, hands shaking like crazy. You could tell something seriously messed up had happened. After a bit, with Father John's help and some rest, she finally spills her name, Mary. When she starts talking, tears streaming down her face, it's the kind of story that gives you goosebumps. Mary and Tom go way back, meeting in this same sleepy town years ago. Tom was super religious, like Bible obsessed, thought everyone should live his way. Tall, dark brown hair, eyes that used to be kind. Mary, just a sweet, simple gal with blonde hair and a killer smile. Back in the day, Tom was all about bringing her flowers, taking her on snowy walks. One chilly fall day, under a big tree, he popped the question, and she said yes, like it was the best day ever. A few months later, they tied the knot in that same church that's now her hideout. The whole town was stoked, thinking they'd be the perfect couple forever. At first, life was golden. Tom worked at a lumber mill, heading out every morning with a spring in his step. Mary kept the house cozy, cooked his favorite grub, and doted on their two kids, Sarah and Jimmy. Nights were all about sitting around the dinner table, Tom chatting about work, Mary cracking up at his stories. He'd always say, "Mary, you're the best gift God ever gave me." And she'd blush and look away. But that happy vibe didn't stick around. Tom started hanging with some new guys from the mill, not the churchy type, not into the simple life. They got him into drinking, then drugs. It started with just weekends, but soon he was out all night. When he dragged himself home, he wasn't the old Tom anymore. Red eyes, shaky hands, stinking of booze. Mary begged him to snap out of it, but he'd either scream or blow her off. Then he got into some freaky stuff. Mary tailed him a few times and saw him with a crew around a fire, chanting weird crap that wasn't anything like his old beliefs. No more Bible, no more church. One day she asked, "Tom, what's going on?" And he flipped out, chucked a glass at the wall, yelling, "Mind your own business, Mary. The world's bigger than you think." His weirdness started leaking into the house. One night, while the kids were asleep, he killed their pet cat, Missy, the one he'd raised since he was a kid. Mary watched, horrified, as he slit its throat and smeared the blood on the walls in creepy patterns, laughing like a maniac, saying, This is a sacrifice, Mary. You wouldn't get it." She cried all night, hugging the kids so they wouldn't hear him. A few days later, he grabbed some street birds, killed them too, and buried them in the yard. Each time, it was like he was slipping further into Crazy Town. It wasn't just animals he went after anymore. Tom started lashing out at Mary and the kids. At first, it was just yelling, but then he started hitting her. One night, drunk and raging, Mary tried to keep him away from the kids' room. He slapped her hard, threw her down, and kicked her while she was on the ground. She pleaded, "Tom, stop," for the kids, but he didn't care. Her face got cut, arm bruised, blood dripping from her lip. The kids were sobbing in their room, and all she could think about was getting them out. The beatings turned into a daily thing. One time, he whipped her with a belt, leaving red marks all over her back. Another day, he yanked her hair till she screamed. Every night, she went to bed terrified, waking up in pain. She couldn't tell anyone, too ashamed, hoping he'd somehow turn back into the old Tom. But that hope was long gone. One brutal winter night, Tom came home worse than ever, swinging a big stick, smashing everything. When Mary saw him heading for the kids' room, she blocked him. He slammed the stick into her shoulder. Pain hit her like a lightning bolt, and she dropped, crying. He kept screaming as she crawled away, legs shaking, body bloody and bruised. She knew if she didn't get out, she was done. With every ounce of strength left, she made it to the church, and that's where Father John found her. Trembling and crying, Mary told Father John, "He's not human anymore. He's either possessed or totally nuts. He's destroying me and the kids." Father John's heart sank. He decided to check it out himself, rounding up a few church guys in case Tom got wild. When they got to the house, Tom went berserk, swinging a stick and a knife, yelling, "Who are you to save me?" One guy got hurt before Father John wrestled Tom down and tied him to a chair. Tom kept cursing, but Father John sat there praying. For a sec, Tom chilled out, eyes closing, breathing slow. But then he snapped back, shouting, "No one's changing me." Father John knew Tom couldn't stay home. He was too dangerous. They took him to the church, locking him in a basement room with just a bed and a table. Every morning, Father John read the Bible to him, real soft. Sometimes Tom listened. Sometimes he'd yell, "This is pointless now." Father John stayed patient, hoping prayer might bring him back. Mary checked in every few days, peeking at Tom, tears in her eyes. Once she said, "I still hope he'll remember who he was." Father John nodded. "Me too, but you gotta brace yourself. He might never be that guy again." Some church folks pitched in. Mrs. Ellen brought food and tried chatting with him. A young guy, Henry, attempted to calm him down, but Tom was either cold or pissed off, throwing insults. One night, he tried to bolt, and it took Henry and the others to pin him back down. Father John stayed up, realizing this wasn't working. After 8 days, he called a doctor from the next town. After hours of tests, the doc said, "He's lost it. Drugs and the awful stuff he's done fried his brain. He's not possessed, just not sane. Father John broke it to Mary. We've tried everything. He's not your Tom anymore. We need to get the police to take him somewhere safe. Exhausted, Mary sobbed, "Okay, I can't do this anymore." The cops showed up, hauled Tom off as he fought and yelled. At least he couldn't hurt anyone now. They shipped Tom to a mental hospital in another city. Docs tried to help, but he just got worse. Drugs and his actions had wrecked him. After he attacked staff, they moved him to a prison for the criminally insane. He never got out. Word got back to Mary that he'd sit staring at walls sometimes, but mostly he'd scream nonsense. For Mary, though, it was like freedom. When Tom was gone, this huge weight lifted. With Father John and the church crew's help, she moved her kids to a new place. Small, safe, away from the past. She ditched everything from the old house, even clothes, to wipe the slate clean. Bit by bit, Mary rebuilt. She got a part-time gig at a shop, read bedtime stories to Sarah and Jimmy. The kids had nightmares sometimes, but she loved them through it. One day, planting flowers in her new yard, she thought, "I'm still here. I can start over." Father John checked in weekly, and Mrs. Ellen dropped off meals now and then. This rough story shows how addiction and bad calls can tear someone away from everything and wreck a family. But it also proves that even in the darkest times, a kind hand like Father John's and the church's can pull you out and give you a fresh shot.